If you enter in the crowd, you're gonna gravitate to the person who's rooting for you most in the crowd. And what if in the crowd, the person that was rooting most for you was you? What if it was you? Not some guy, not some girl, not the fact that they noticed you. When you go on a date, and this has to do a lot with your self-worth and how showing up for yourself and respecting yourself. I like to call it like this. I don't like to use a word a lot, but I like to say how to not give a phooey, how to not care. That is a nicer way of saying how to not give a fuck, how to not give a fuck era. And let's put it in the nice aspect of how to not care, because a lot of times we end up caring, and sometimes that puts in jeopardy how we show up for ourselves. Thought about it like this, is this analogy. Like if you were on a date and you're excited to go on this date, and let's say this is your first date or this is of the first few dates, your emotions are high. When going on this date, you present yourself well to that other person. And when you're on a date, when you're out and about, your attention is solely to that other person. I like to use this analogy how you're going on a date and you're putting your focus and you're putting your energy and you're putting your time into what is becoming of a relationship or what's being tested to become a relationship. I think in that same way, it comes about dating yourself. When you show up for yourself, sometimes it could be you can allow others to interrupt, or sometimes others can come into your life and you allow it. But when you put in this perspective that, you know, you're going on a date, let's put it this. Let's put it you're not going on a date with another person. Let's put it you're going on a date with yourself. Like the way you dressed up for that person, the way you're presenting yourself, like the utmost respect, like you're your best self when you're going on this date. Imagine if you did that if you're going on a date with yourself. And I think what ends up happening is that when it comes to self-worth and self-value, you're like, yeah, show up for myself, goal, success, whatever, habits, patterns, all that. But I'm like, when you put it in this perspective, like you're going on a date with yourself, like, wow, like be there, show up for yourself, be yourself. Like, how is it possible that you put up this front that when you do go on a date with someone else because you want them to see the best aspects of you, but what about you with yourself? How much more of a change is that going to be when you show up for yourself, when you present, when you take the time, when you take the energy to say, I'm going on a date? My point being, when I go to the gym, right, this is something that I'm investing in myself. This is something that I'm valuing something like for me, and going to the gym is like as if I'm going on a date, right? Going to the gym, it's my happy place. It's the place where I get to push myself. It's the place where I get to be more healthy. I get to learn new things. I get to jump like a monkey. But also at the same time, I get to explore this other aspects where I know I have it more in me, right? It's just this whole other thing, and that's why the gym is my happy place. But aside from me telling you why the gym is my happy place, the reason, like, the fact that I'm showing up for myself, that could be considered a date. Like, when I'm going to the gym, I'm going on a date with myself. If I'm going on a date with myself, then my attention, my focus should be on me. So when you go to the gym, there's like mirrors everywhere. Sometimes, it's like even just like trying to catch yourself, like who is she? What is she doing? Like, even if you're a guy watching this, like finding yourself like in the mirror, like, oh, there you are. Oh, there you are, But what ends up happening is that sometimes the idea of not dating yourself or not showing up for yourself drifts. So in this aspect, when maybe I'm not in the mood, or maybe it's just not one of those days, my eyes can drift. I can get distracted. But when I'm showing up for myself, I'm on a date with myself. Let me respect myself, right? Let me put my attention. Let me dress good. So because when I dress good, obviously it's not the main aspect. When I dress good, I also feel good. I perform good, right? And it's the notion of just being on a date with yourself instead of in the same way that you would dress up, in the same way that you would come to show up for that other person, is the same way and more you should show up for yourself. So looking at it in the way like, I'm going to the gym, I'm going on a date with myself. Yeah, let me show up on time. Let me be respectful. Let me grind. Let me see what's up. You know what I mean? So in that same aspect, whatever you're doing, whatever activities you're doing in your life, show it as like, I'm going on a date with myself. If you're going on a date with yourself, do exactly and more what you would do if you were to be going on a date with someone else that is not you. But do it more because it is you. You're coming in here first. So in this aspect, with the gym, and this lesson has taught me where maybe my mind has drifted. Maybe it's been those days, right? And sometimes I can get caught up on what others see of me. And that's where I go wrong. Why am I getting caught up on what others are seeing of me? Why are you getting caught up on what others are saying about you? Why are you getting caught up on what people are saying about you? Because now it's like you're not on a date no more. Your attention is on you. your intention is on what other people are saying about you or the fact that people notice you, that's where your attention is, and that can mess you up. That can mess up your grind. That can mess up where you're trying to go because you're putting your intention, it's like you are no longer on a date with yourself. Who are you focusing on? What are you reaching for? You're no longer on a date with yourself. Who are you on a date with? What is the point of you going to the gym? Or what is the point of you getting up in the morning and running? What is the point of you, let's say, going to yoga, Pilates, or what is the point of you, I don't know, taking classes? Like, whatever you do in your life, whatever you want to do, the things that you're deciding to do them because they're an investment for you, then what is the point then if you suddenly drift off in those activities and you look at what your surrounding areas or you look at what people are saying about you, because now it's like you're not on a date no more with yourself. Then like it's like a link that has been broken in that sense. I'm very self-aware. I'm very hyper aware of like everything around me, but at the same time I know when to zone in. And even to the point where like I've had someone just say like, oh damn, she has tunnel vision, which I didn't know if that was a compliment or an insult at the same time. So it kind of made me broaden my horizon, like, okay, like let me actually be more aware. But it's like even before that I was always aware, right? And so it's just this aspect, this point where I got caught up on what people saw of me. I got caught up on the fact that people noticed that I lost focus on me. I lost focus, get this form right. Breathe in, breathe out whenever you're doing a certain movement. Like, what are you doing? What do you want? Like, in that moment of time, that the fact that I'm on this day, I'm at the gym, what exactly are you doing in this moment? Talk to me. Like, it's even just like talking to yourself that really makes a difference in how you speak to yourself. And I speak to this in another video about how talking to yourself really matters, if you want to go check that out. But I was talking to myself, and also just in the moment when I was drifting, I realized I ended up being so much in my head that I lost focus on me, that I'm like, wait, hold up, this is my happy, like this, I take this seriously, being in jeopardy because my focus is no longer on myself. My focus is not showing up on my goals, on what we meant today to achieve or what we're trying to get to, because I drifted. Momentarily I drifted, and I did notice what others, saw of me, or the fact that I was aware that other people noticed me. I drifted. I lost, and because of that, I became so much in my mind that suddenly the opinions of others was flooding into my mind, where the era of not giving a fuck or not caring, that was not the aspect, that was not the point at this point. We were not there. We were not there of not caring. Because suddenly, because I've drifted and because I allowed my focus to gaze, I allowed the opinions of others, I allowed to even myself get in my own mind that focusing and zoning in on what we're trying to achieve or what you're trying to get at, it's not there no more because your focus shifted in the first place. And that was recent ago when I was so much in my mind, and I'm like, hold up, let's mirror this back, because there's always this mirror that bounces. I'm like, they don't care, so why should you care? They don't care, and I had to reaffirm myself. I'm like, they don't care, so why are you caring? Why are you looking? Yes, you're noticing certain things, but why are you giving in? Why are you feeding into that thought? Why do you continue to feed into that? If they don't care, why do you care? And I'm like, oh yeah, they don't care. So then in that moment, I realized I'm in my mind. I'm so much in my head. I was so much in my head that I felt so conflicted. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, if you knew that if you're in a crowd and the one who loves you the most, aside from your creator, your number one, the one who made you from the beginning of time, if you knew that you yourself was rooting for you more than anyone else in the crowd, wouldn't you want to go? Like, if you enter in the crowd and you're gonna gravitate to the person who's rooting for you most in the crowd. And what if in the crowd, the person that was rooting most for you was you? What if it was you? Not some guy, not some girl, not the fact that they noticed you, not the judgments, not the opinions, not even the voices that are like, yeah, you got this. No, the one who has been rooting for you. This is not including your creator, because your creator is the one that roots from you from the get-go. But if you were to see anyone from the crowd, it was you rooting for you. The fact that you can do so much more, wouldn't you gravitate toward yourself? Wouldn't you be so lasered focused on yourself because you're showing up for yourself? You're on that date, your energy is going and zoned in on what you want, what you're trying to accomplish. That is what I'm talking about. I would gravitate. And so when I noticed, wait, hold up, why am I noticing others? Like, I'm getting so much, my focus shifted. I'm getting in my head. I'm feeling conflicted. I'm no longer showing up for myself. You will no longer show up for yourself when your focus shifts, when your intention is somewhere else. You will no longer show up for yourself. So show up for yourself. Get your focus straight. And if you're going to look anyone in the crowd, if you're going to want a like, yeah, an applaud, let's go. It's going to be you. It's going to be your voice applauding for you to let's go, to push that last rep, to get that last goal, get that last thing, whatever you're doing in life, that last thing, just keep at it. It's your voice that should be magnified among the rest of the crowd. It's where you come in and you show up for yourself. That is what I'm talking about. And in that process, when my focus has shifted, when I decided somewhere along the line, without even my permission, and I realized that I have allowed the opinions of others to flood my mind, and not even that, overthinking just get flooded in my mind. In that I realized I'm not showing up for myself. I'm not on this date. Then what am I doing? Because it's quite the opposite of what I want. So what went wrong? And I told myself, I was like, wait, hold up. This is in jeopardy. Like, how dare I? How dare you to defy yourself? Do you even know that you can be, like, you could be your biggest liar? Like, you can make yourself so delusional for certain things. And also, you're like, my point being of how powerful you are and how you talk to yourself and how you show up for yourself. It's so powerful. If you knew that, then you would catch yourself like this. And the fact is, like, I know this, and the fact I'm like, hold up. I am allowing what? The external factors to flood in to where I want to go. And if you reword the question to yourself. Like, you're allowing the external factors to get in the way in your head. You're allowing that? Why? If you're literally in your head for that very reason and you're conflicted, that's becoming the obstacle from even showing up for yourself. Like, imagine you're on this date and let's say someone interrupts your date, maybe in a rude manner. Let's say this in a rude manner. You're gonna be like, how disrespectful is that? And it is disrespectful. If you're on a date and you're so excited, let's say you're on a date with another person and someone interrupts your date in a rude manner, you're gonna be like, how disrespectful. Yeah, how disrespectful. It's even more disrespectful that you're on a date with yourself, whatever you're doing, if you're going to the gym, if you're going to Pilates, if maybe you're spending time out in the park, journaling, whatever it may be. How disrespectful is it gonna be that you interrupt the date with yourself? You interrupt the date with yourself. That's what's going on here. That it's not someone that interrupted the date. It's you that interrupted the date. So in this case, when my mind drifted, I was the one to interrupt the date with myself. If I'm at the gym and I'm working and I'm grinding, I'm laser focused, I'm zoned in, I'm showing up for myself, even if maybe the day's not going as it is, but I'm still here. It is the audacity to myself. It is the audacity to you that the fact that the only person that interrupted, the only person that had the permission to even interrupt the date with myself, with yourself, just like in the same way how you can be your worst enemy. Yeah, that comes into play. I was the one that had my focus shifted. And it's not to say that I did it intentionally. No, and perhaps that happens to you. Perhaps you didn't do it intentionally, but the fact that you now, and I'm telling you this now, you can realize, it probably wasn't intentional. You probably weren't trying to do it intentional, but now you know. And now you can catch on. Catching yourself and realizing, wow, you can be your worst enemy. Did you know that? If you don't catch yourself. It's not only that you're like your worst enemy sometimes, and the fact that you don't maybe catch yourself when you're unintentionally doing these things, but it's also knowing that the enemy plays into your head, and at the end of the day, it's what you believe. It is what you believe that will take into course your actions. And because I know my creator and I have the love for myself, and because his love transcends above it all, he was able to help me realize this. And so I just want you guys to realize that as well. That it's also not just yourself, not just like maybe you have these negative thoughts about yourself, but it's also knowing that the enemy puts thoughts in your head, and it's up to you. It's really, do you believe it or not? You're at the end of the day, you have the choice in power, giving it power if you believe it or not. And that's where your actions will reside. So in this case, I don't believe it. I don't give those negative thoughts power. I don't do it. I refuse. Got in my head. The evidence is already showing. I'm conflicted. So if you're conflicted, what went wrong? What did you believe that wasn't true? And if it was true, what made it true? At the end of the day, it's showing up for yourself, respecting yourself. The fact that my gaze shifted and I'm like, why is it that I'm in my head? They don't care. No one cares. Like, wherever you are, I'm like, and you're taking so much into consideration. What are they saying? They're noticing you, whatever. They don't care. How about just enter it of I don't care era? And if, let's say, like, you are on a date with yourself, if someone wants to interrupt it, you can assess on the person who's interrupting you. Is it worth it? Sometimes it's okay, because these are people that actually want to help you. But then there are those people who don't want to help you. Maybe they're just a distraction. It's assessing if the person or the thought that's interrupting the date from you or what you're trying to accomplish, assess that. Don't just allow it in, because like I said, you have power. What you're choosing to believe has power. So assess that. Keep your eyes open and your ears open, and just be aware, and just even remember showing up for yourself. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Obviously, normally a lot of my videos are built with natural lighting. This is one of the first, and I really am like have that quality in, but I'm so glad if you stick till the end. Thank you so much, and I hope you got something from the video and can apply it to your life. And it's just really recognizing that the advice that I'm giving you, also based on this personal experiences and like the wisdom and stuff, I'd hope that it helps you on your journey, that whatever you're trying to accomplish, or even just in life alone, you know, it's not mainly always about the destination, but it's really about the process, and really how your character builds in the process. That yeah, you do have goals, yeah, you have this purpose, this greater purpose that God gives you and everything, but it's really how your character builds in that process that matters more than the destination. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Double dab and good and bye.